Hello, good people. Getting a late start today. Yay, week number 2. This is my second attempt at this today. I did a 45-minute presentation for you all and didn't realize that the sound was off. Help! Live and learn. So thanks so much for all of you that have been hanging in here with me for week 2. Yay! I'm totally honored. This is Empowered Meals. I'm Donna Meals, and that's who I am, and that's what I do. So happy Monday. Disclaimer, this is not medical advice. I mean, I'm basically just spreading wisdom and love, sharing information. Just be smart. Check everything I say out with your doctor, check it out and make sure it's all good for you. Do your own homework, etc., whatever. So this channel is pretty organic. As of yet, I'm basically used to helping people on a one-on-one basis, and so it's way more highly focused, and so I'm really trying to adjust my methods and my information so that it blankets a wider audience and can serve all of you. And one of the things I was figuring out was, some of you've got it going on, and you already have like a regimen down or a habit. You've changed your habits. You've found what works for you, and I think that's awesome. And we can always learn more. So I think there's something here for everybody. There really is. I mean, if you eat, there's stuff you're going to find out here that's going to work for you. That's going to help you. There's a lot of things that I'm finding out, just kind of reiterating some of the other things that I've mentioned. I was like, I gotta check my facts and make sure I was, because I go over a lot of stuff. But this channel is about finding you're happy and you're healthy. It's foodjumication. So what that is the journey of learning self-empowerment through 1, finding, and 2, loving the food that's right for you. Okay, so that's like a twofold process. It's finding your wisdom and finding your love. Okay, that's what cooking is. Cooking is love, especially when you can share it. So the better you are at finding what your why is, why you need to get to that place to figure out how to be happy with what you're doing, food-wise, and, okay, I'm just rambling. So, you know what I mean. So, you may already have that food journey down, like I said, but just like our personal relationships, I'm going to bring this back because it was Valentine's Day yesterday. Bah, humbug. No. It's one of those so superficial holidays. It tends to be, I'm gonna use the analogy of the couple because it was Valentine's Day. When you're with the same person, we need to implement some new, fresh ideas, spice up the relationship, etc. We also need to do that with our relationship to food. So, the main idea is that there's always new science, new discoveries about the human body, the heart and the brain. Oh my gosh, we're just scratching the surface. New concepts that are being discovered and perspectives, and there's so much, everything is changing, and just the products that are out there. I mean, I remember trying to be gluten-free 15 years ago. Oh man, that was work. Now there's like a million products. So you just got to know which ones are better than others. So I'm going to go through that. So, again, human body, specifically the human mind, have yet to be unraveled. And I absolutely delight in learning about, all this stuff and throwing it your way, because applying all of this knowledge promotes wisdom. Words matter. I think wisdom is my favorite word. I made it part of my business, my coaching name, Wise Life Consulting, because there's something to be said. Like I said, words matter. So I'm going to boil this down. My true purpose of this channel is to help you piece the puzzle together for yourself. And that's finding and loving the food that's right for you. It's that synchronicity between, the brain, what to eat and how to love it. So anyway, I like to relate that as a parent. I always tried to apply my Sunday school education, and particularly, the parable of Jesus. And there's so much wisdom there. I like the one about how it's wiser to teach a man how to fish rather than to give him a fish. I try and do that with my kids. My beautiful daughter Sydney, at one point, she every other day, Mom, I forgot my gym shoes, for practice. And I finally got to the point, I said, you know what? You're going to have to be self-reliant and figure this out on your own. I'm not going to be, bringing you the fish. Fish for yourself. And it was one of those lessons, and it's hard to do that. But, we all have to do that for ourselves, too. That's why diets don't work, because a specific diet works for maybe 10,000 other people, not necessarily you. It may not be the right thing for you. And that's like somebody giving you a fish. That's why people gain weight when their diet's over. So I'd rather try and help you all get to the place where you're food domesticated and it just comes second nature. It's part of your program. This is a huge thing I want to talk about today. The topic is, we are like a computer. I guess that was the model that we used to have when computers were imagined. I don't know. But, here's your hard drive, and that lives, in your frontal lobe, there's your hard drive. All this stuff is moving, and you have a program, and your programming is it's provided by your family. The critter brain is your evolutionary programming to keep you, like I said, safe and alive. Your family has thrown some programming in there. Some of it good, some of it not necessarily. You have to fish that out for yourself. I used that word again, didn't I? But there's some meaning there. You have to come to a place where you're able to say, is this program that I've had helping me or hurting me? Is this food I'm eating helping me or hurting me? See, there's just a common thread here that I talk about. And it's really just you saying, stop, I'm going to sit back, I'm going to think about this, and I'm going to analyze, and I'm going to be my own best friend. And I mean, my whole thing that I would teach my clients is, don't live to eat to live, You don't have to eat what you're not supposed to every time to be happy. There's a balance, okay? There's a total balance. And so it's hard to get out of that depravity mode and just think about what you can have. All of the things that you can have. That's all about the whole concept of substitution. Anyway, all of this stuff, what I was saying is, 95% of our bodily functions, 95% run on automatic, okay? Our subconscious runs our, the way we think, the way we feel, some our habits, what we do, the thought process. Oh, you get that thought going, oh, I just woke up, I'm going to have coffee now. It's because it's been programmed, okay? Not all your programs are what you want them to be. If you wake up and you look in the mirror and you have, half your body weight needs to go away, that means that you've been running on programs that aren't serving you. So being empowered and doing the work here, that's serving you. Being food domesticated, learning what does work and what's the best thing for you, and learning how to have your brain tell you, that's what I want. That's what I like. So, I don't like kale, but guess what? I love kale chips. And, you know, that's what I'm eating right now. That's my snack, kale chips, and happy for it. Like I said, who knew? Who knew? Because if you had told me that 2 weeks ago before I found that amazing little hack, it's a food hack for me, I would tell you there's no way I'm eating kale. But nope, I'm eating it. A lot of it, and it's good for me. And that's part of why I want to eat it, because I know the benefit that I'm going to get for it, you know, as opposed to like potato chips. Like right now, even though I'm not allowed to have them, if you said, do you want this potato chip or the kale chip? Right away, my brain's going to go, give me the kale chip. Tastes good, crunchy, and good for me. It's a win-win. There's nothing there. There's no losing there. Potato chip, ooh, you know. A lot of unhealthy fats and a lot of, I don't know, just starch and too many extra carbs that I really don't need. So, hey, maybe, you know, to have a chip here or there, whatever, that's great. But for now, like I said, that's kind of what I'm doing. So, okay. So, when I was getting to that 95% of your subconscious, that's your breathing, blood flow, initial emotional response to stimulus, you know, your hormone messaging, just the way our circulation is, oxygenation, everything. It's all kind of, it runs on the background noise, okay? And sometimes we do that in stuff that we really should be focused on, like driving. How many times you've been driving along and you missed your exit because you're talking on the phone or blah, 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 whatever. That's just another example. You weren't really focusing on something that you needed to. And your body's just going to go on its program and just be like, keep driving until you actually bring a conscious thought and say, oh, I need to get up on the exit there because I'm going here and there. So it's easy to get away with, you know, letting that 95%, you know, subconscious take over, and it will do that. So today I want to talk about a life hack, which is breathing. Focusing on breathing. Amazing, just magical things. Been around for, I don't know, breathing's been around. You've been breathing since you've been alive, but perhaps you haven't really given it some really deep thought. I read some stuff about this recently in the last few months, and I've been doing the Wim Hof. I think I mentioned that before. That's it's an app you can download, and it's really good. It's just kind of like a little template of what to do, and I do it in the morning. First thing I do when I wake up, I have it's like my little thing when I wake up in the morning, you know. When you first wake up, your brain waves are really, really in a good place to take in information and cement it in your programming. It's a great time to change your program, okay? Just because your brain is working on theta, and it's just really good wavelength for that. So I normally will go through this little process called priming, okay? I do my little, I don't want to say meditation, just like, there's a whole vast field of that, okay? Some people think it's woo-woo. I used to think it's woo-woo. Now that I understand, meditation is really just clearing your mind and allowing all that chatter, all the stuff, negativity, all the stuff that you don't need to be spinning on. And it helps you just kind of focus in on what's really important. You know, like, for instance, the Valentine thing yesterday. Okay, it's just like any holiday. Wow, they've commercialized it. You know, everything's on the surface. You know, you got to do this, you got to do that, get this person this, flowers, and, you know, all that. Holidays are supposed to be about food, love, fellowship, relationship. You know, this one in particular is you and whoever you're involved with. But it's not about buying them a gift and, you know, going to dinner. I mean, Food is always part of it because food is love, okay? When I have something that's going on, you bet, and I want to return a favor or something, I am cooking for that person because that's how I show my love, and I put my love into my cooking, okay? It's about going from the outer layer of the onion. I'm going to use a food analogy. Imagine that. You know, I try to teach my kids this too. You know, we can live 95% of our... Notice the 95%? Hello. Yes, automatically, never paying attention. We can get along in life and do that. And we're living on the outer layer of the onion. It's not till we delve into the deeper layers, down to the core, that we find out who, you know, what we're really made of. So, that's what holidays should be about, the deeper stuff, you know, the true value of things. So, again, I'm gonna go back to this focusing on the breathing, okay? Your lungs, they're shaped like an oblong, long, elongated triangle. And normally, most of us, we breathe about this much. We use about this much of our lungs. It's very unfortunate. I don't know if that used to be, you know, back, whatever, in the caveman days or whatever. But I don't know if there was evolution there or whatever. Maybe it's just our society. It's probably has a lot to do with stress, because probably a lot of stress. You know, we tend to just subconsciously breathe more through our mouth at times, and very shallow, okay? But if you can train yourself to do that, and I do this in my exercise in the morning, where I do a deep breath exercise, where you're using your whole lung, expanding your diaphragm. It's the muscle, you know, right underneath, you know, in the middle of your chest. And that helps you bring the air in. If you're thinking about, you know, expanding that diaphragm and bringing that air in, you're going to use the whole lung. That's what it's there for. We're only using about a third of it, the upper third. And there's so much more that gets accomplished when you have to pull that oxygen into the bottom. And by get accomplished, I mean oxygenation in your blood that's going all through your whole system. So I can't really stress how important that is. I mean, I really can't. The other thing that we really, I'm sorry, I was just trying to gather my thought there. Okay, the first thing is using your entire lung. Second one is when you breathe through your nose instead of your mouth. And I think this is hilarious. They're catching on to this, and now you see YouTube videos and people are putting duct tape over their mouth when they're going to sleep at night. Whatever. I guess that's one way. Kind of sucked in the morning, getting all the glue off you, but I don't know. I don't know, I guess you wouldn't have a mustache. Women wouldn't have that like 5 o'clock shadow, or I don't know. All right, don't mind me. So your sinus usage, there is a twofold reason that you should breathe through your nose. First of all, there is filtration for junk in the air, particles. Also collecting and snagging viruses or pathogens and, you know, stuff that's not supposed to go. That's your filter. It's your filtration system. Okay. Just like you got a pool, there's a pool filter. It gets all the bugs out or whatever. Okay. Bugs. And then also, you have some pressurization that goes on in your sinus cavities. That's why you have them. That's why it hurts so bad when you're all stuffed up and there's, you know, junk going on in there. It's a pressure thing. You know, your pressure is all messed up and that's why it hurts. So, but we need that because that pressure will regulate how well all your oxygenation happens, flowing in your blood and getting to, you know, your brain. So you can eliminate brain fog. You can increase your circulatory system, improve, you know, a myriad of issues. Digestion becomes better. You know, your thinking process becomes better. So aging is stunted. The more of this breathing. I mean, if I see, if you're going to look better and be older, aren't you going to want to breathe in the morning? Aren't you going to want to pick something up like that? So anyway, all disease can be linked to stress, okay? Breathing, like a nice regimen of breathing super deep, is going to change your brain chemistry, and it's going to eliminate so many things. It's going to eliminate the stress. It's going to bring that level down. It's going to help with depression, anxiety, all of those things. You don't need to take a pill. Just breathe. It is amazing. One of the things that I never understood smoking. And a lot of people, I guess, part of the reason you'd see them get upset and they'll start smoking right away. It's because the huge thing is they have to take a huge breath in to bring the smoke in. Well, it's not necessarily the nicotine of the cigarettes. That is part of the calming effect too. But the biggest part of why people get addicted and how they want to use that to calm themselves down is the huge breath that sends all the oxygen in their body and it calms them down. So it's a really dangerous, scary, thing, I guess, because it's really bad for you. Terrible. But so that's just one of those things too. Don't fall victim to that. Be smarter and realize that maybe if you're addicted to cigarettes and you want to calm down and bring the volume down, adapt a breathing program. I mean, there's other things that's not my thing, but maybe there's another program, but I promise you, any kind of addiction that you have, whether it's food or it's drugs, alcohol, whatever, a breathing regimen will help you. It'll be your best friend to help you beat it. Hands down, I'm here to tell you. It's amazing. So, like I said, all disease can be affected by stress. So, in fact, you can solve a lot of your major problems, major diseases with relieving your stress through breathing. I mean, that's just common sense. So all the additional oxygenation in your blood is just going to make your life better, make you younger, and just help with so many different things. It's huge. Just improving. It's just chemistry. Okay, so I'm going to start with just a small breathing exercise. I'm just going to go through it. I'm not going to do it with you, but I guess what I want you to do is just get a little, I'm going to add a few things in there. This is a good regimen in the morning. I'm going to just give you my example of what I do. When I first wake up in the morning, I've created a habit where I think of something I'm grateful for. It's usually I had this little white Chihuahua, Paco, and he's always right there, man. He's my buddy, and I feel how soft he is, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm so grateful for this dog. He's got me through so much. He's just such an awesome little guy. And, I'm grateful for him, or my kids, or how comfy the bed is, or the fact that I can snooze for another 20 minutes or something. Whatever. I start with that, and then, excuse me. I've got my Tulsi rose tea. Yummy. And then I immediately kind of go into doing my breath exercise where I just do a heart-brain correlation, okay? I sit, it's usually dark. I have the blinds, put on some soft music, something that's very calming. And I usually have little eye things that I put on to kind of keep it dark. And I just really sit back and start thinking about my day and think of, some cool things that I want to accomplish today. I'm usually already kind of have that written out, but I know when I wake up, what do I got to do today? What's the major thing? And, I'm in a safe space, and I do about 5 different breaths. I'm bringing forth, I got my hand over my heart, kind of do a little tap, bringing my awareness to my heart. We have a special energy, electromagnetic energy in our brain that our brain puts out there. It's called our aura. Some people can see that. Isn't that cool? You know, it's not out there. It's actually measurable. Energy is measurable. So, you know, there are scientists out there that can figure that out, and they can also measure the energy that's coming from your heart as well. When you combine the two and you have them in sync, you know, the wavelengths of your energy in your brain and your heart, your brain energy is, I think it's like 100 times. It multiplies by 100 times just by adding your heart in there. We have neurological cells in our heart. This is like our second brain. Some of the Eastern medicine, they believe that there's yet another brain in the gut. But we don't want to confuse but there's a lot that goes on there too. But we're just talking above the board in this half of your body. Your heart and your brain are, when you can get them in sync, wow, you can be a powerful person. You can rearrange what's going on in your critter brain and reprogram what you've been programmed, good or bad. You know, a lot of it's bad, a lot of it's not what we want. We're not programmed to be happy, we're programmed to stay alive. I think I keep mentioning that, but it's really good to keep in mind that you need to change that program. And this is a perfect way to do this in this exercise with this breathing, just by consciously speaking to that, that section, while you're taking deep breaths. And it's kind of like setting up your day. Tony Robbins calls it priming, where you're bringing in the breath and you're setting up what you're going to do, and then you put in there, kind of implant maybe a goal, whether it's for the day or for your life. You know, am I driving in my Maserati or my beach house? Am I having the most amazing Christmas with both my kids who are in the military and they're both there at the same time? How cool is that? You know, you can pick something new every day, and I do. You know, I always have something that's hitting me, and I said, oh, I'm gonna concentrate on that today. But basically, the way the exercise works, and I'm just gonna kind of go through, okay, is this. So we'll try a 5-minute breathing exercise. And we're gonna use some science from the Heart Math Institute and try and establish the heart-brain coherence, okay? First, you safe space, sit, calm, close your eyes, and do an accounting of your stress level, agitation, depression, anxiety, whatever it is, whatever. Say to yourself, where am I right now? Hopefully, if you're waking up in the morning, you're good. It's usually once you start, answering emails and listening to this person on YouTube or whatever, stay away from your phone for the first hour that you're awake. Other than me, I'm checking, how's my cryptocurrency numbers going? Oh, it's going good, yay. Well, that gives me a boost too. But I don't tend to connect with anybody for the first hour. I go in my little realm, I do my little breathing. Like I said, get in your safe space, calm, close your eyes, be in a dark room, listen to some good music, do your accounting of where you're at. Hopefully, you went to bed marinating in something good that put you in a good place when you wake up. Key. Huge. Smartest thing you can do for yourself at night before you go to bed, before you're ready to crash out, is just go through and talk to yourself that everything is great. This is what here's my direction. This is what I'm doing. I am enough. I love myself. All of those. It may sound kooky, but those things, that's self-care. And when you get to the place where you take care of yourself, marinate in that for 8 hours, those good feelings, because that creates good chemistry. You're marinating your brain in good chemistry. And then you can wake up in the morning and be like, all right, I am ready to do whatever I need to do. So you're in your safe space. You've done your accounting. I usually wake up and my stress level is like 1. Not even, maybe 2, if if XRP is down a little that day, but then I go, well, no, what am I saying? I don't care. It's going to go up. It's going to go to the moon. So I've convinced myself because I've done enough research. That's my cryptocurrency thing. I have others too, but that's my favorite. But get your number. Hand over your heart. Tap it a few times. Bring your body awareness. Okay. Think of anything that you're most grateful for. And then 5 super deep breaths. You know, ready, inhale, slow. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hold for 2, 1, and release even more slowly. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Okay, we're not really doing this. I'm just kind of going through it. I don't want to waste time. But then that kind of just sets your mood. And then you say, I'm going to do 4 more. And each one of those 4 breaths, as you inhale, I want you to be concentrating on the love and light of all the things that you want for you and your family. Just pick one. You know, maybe it's your Maserati. I don't know. Maybe it's, you know, for me, this morning it was like my dog's getting a little older and he has this little weird, he has, you know, a little ailment. It's permanent. It's collapsed trachea, and he breathes really weird. Sometimes it scares me. So my thought for him this morning, I put my hand on him as I was breathing in, and I thought how, you know, let's strengthen that trachea. Come on, God, universe, let's do it. The more I've been doing that, the less I've noticed that he's having an issue. I'm here to tell you, you know, we have way more power than we really realize. Anyway, so if you can breathe in what your goal is, or something happy that you want, or whatever it is, and just breathe out anything that might be, you know, holding that up, or just breathe out, and then bring more good in. You know, in with the good, out with the bad, whatever. You know what I'm saying. You can figure that out. That's you're hitting about 3 wickets in one. In a 5-minute period that's going to do amazing things for your body, you know. Or, you know, like I said, the Wim Hof, if you want to do some, you know, he's got like, you can do 3 or 4 rounds of deep breaths in, 40 breaths out, you know, where you're really, really bringing that oxygen in. This is what we do when we're, you know, when I'm on the Peloton, I'm heavy breathing with the, you know, an athletic, you know, that's why remember, you know, when you go work out and you do cardio, that's what it is. It improves your oxygenation and your blood flow and all those things. Okay, that's all breathing. That's the benefit of it. Of course, you're building up, you know, your heart muscle. You're building up, you know, your resistance too, or your, you know, endurance, shall we say? Yes, but the huge part of that is breath. So, okay. So today's topic. You know, words matter, and everything that you can do in your life is substitution. Okay, whether if it's you can't eat this, okay, well I can't eat breadcrumbs. Can't eat them. I love that salmon recipe. Oh, I should post that. I'm gonna write that down. Salmon. Okay, I'm going to post that because it's really simple. Now that I've figured out how to do that and get it to you, I'm going to do that. We're going to do food tomorrow, so I'm probably going to come up with some recipes and do a recipe dump. And then also do like a little program for that. But back to what I was saying. I can't have breadcrumbs. So instead of breadcrumbs, I was using almond flour. Found out I'm allergic to that, highly allergic, so that's out. Now I'm using the tiger nut flour. I think I showed you guys that product. Or I could do a mixed nut flour as long as it didn't have almonds in there. Sometimes I did one, you know, a breading with, I do variations, okay? I'm gonna do the breading for the salmon with, you know, Parmesan or fake Parmesan. You know, I substitute in what I can do. There's always something you can substitute if you find something in a recipe that doesn't work. So I do a chicken pecan crusted chicken where I do nut meal out of pecans. I grind them up in my Vitamix and add that to some orange peel, some zest, plus some cinnamon and a little bit of salt, and that's lovely for a breading for chicken breasts. Throw them in the oven, bake them, easy. The salmon, there's so many variations that you can do with just, and that's what I'm going to get into the recipe blueprints too. We're going baby steps here. I'm really trying to get you guys to understand that you really have to concentrate on your mental before you start applying everything, and really kind of get into mental shape before. So right now I'm going to do probably 3 days a week solid with, this kind of format, and then, or maybe change one of them out and do maybe cooking a day or 2 a week. I'm still kind of working that out and figuring it out. So, what I was getting back to is substitution is how you can achieve balance, like a union. Substitution is what I wrote in my notes, and maybe that was a Freudian slip because I like that. Wait a minute, substitution. So you substitute to get a union, of your mind and your body's attitude about whatever it is that you're trying to process, whether it's, replacing something in a recipe, or saying, ooh, I don't like the feeling that I'm feeling right now about something somebody said to me. And then you just go, wait a minute, I'm just going to go to my little space, wherever it is, close my eyes, breathe in 3 deep thoughts, think of something I'm grateful for. Guess what? Bingo, bango. Change your brain, change your chemistry. You're not going to feel as bad about that. I promise you. Try it. Try it sometime, okay? Because we all have toxic people. Ooh, that would be a thing for Wednesday. Toxicity. And I'm going to write that down. Toxicity. We're going to do that. You can have toxic people, but you don't have to deal with them. All right, so I digress. So that's what I was getting at. Okay, union of the mind and body, your attitude about whatever you're processing, whether it's food or feelings, okay? You can empower yourself. You can be in charge of that. And it's basically just being able to stop, recognize what it is. Okay, stop. I can't eat, I cannot eat breadcrumbs, so I'm going to make a substitution. I'm going to stop. I'm going to step back and go, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to put something else out there. I'm going to put, tiger nut flour instead. And then I'm going to move forward. I'm going to do a pivot, substitute the tiger nut, and then go. Okay. Somebody on the street says something you don't like, or somebody on Facebook says something you don't like about your candidate, or whatever. People get very guttural about all that stuff. You get offended and you're like, then you get into all this. What are you doing? You're just wasting your energy. You're wasting your energy even getting upset about it. Okay. Stop, take a step back and say, hey, that's their opinion and they're entitled to it. It's not mine. I don't need to prescribe, to it. So I'm just going to pivot, and I'm not going to be upset about that. I'm just going to go on. I'm going to think about puppies, my puppy, or something that makes me happy. Just move on, switch. If it's not working for you, see ya. Don't spend your energy on it. Where your focus goes, your energy flows. I love that. And you can do that with food, and you can do that with toxicity in your life. Toxic food or toxic people, whatever. Whatever it is in life, substitution is king. Okay? That is wisdom. If something's not working, get rid of it and put something else in its place. If you have limiting beliefs, ideas about yourself that, oh, I'm not enough, I'm never going to be, I was never meant to be successful or whatever. Figure out what that is. Go those levels deep. That's, the core of our being is you want to fit in, want to be loved, you want to be understood. Okay? That's down in the deep layers of the onion. Up here, it's, oh, I want to be pretty, I want to be thin, I want people to smile at my jokes, whatever. That's up here in the plastic land, okay? Get down to that core, okay? And that's where really living is. That's where being happy is getting rid of all that fake crap. Same thing with food. Get rid of all that fake crap food and go for real food, down at the core. The closest anything is to its natural state, the better it's going to be for you, you know. So the more processed you are, I mean, think about these California chicks out here with the, you know, they're processed. I was talking to an old friend of mine who lives in Miami. He's like, you know, he said, every chick there is, they all want to know how much money you have, and they're so blunt to ask it. You know, he's a guy, right? They want to know, how much money do you have? And their value of their worthiness is how much work they've had done. That's crazy. It's crazy. Okay. Let's get down to basics, people. Okay, that's where the real deal is. So, I got way off the path there. We're on 41 minutes, but this is good stuff. And I know that if you've kind of come to this place of knowing, like I'm explaining, where you go, wait a minute, I don't want to feel that way, or I can't eat that way. You know, I'm gonna stop. And I'm gonna recognize, and you're at a turning point there. You're in control. You have the power to decide if you're going to be happy about something, or you're just going to not care about something, or if you're going to, change what you're going to eat and say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to substitute, I'm just going to switch it out. It's just mental gymnastics, and everybody and anybody can do that. You have a brain, okay? You have a brain, use it. You don't have any excuses now. We can all eat better. I mean, sorry, I'm not even sound like, I'm putting shame, but there is no excuse. We can talk ourselves into what the best thing is for us. Everybody else seems to talk us into everything in our programming throughout our lives. Why can't we take over the driver's seat and do that for ourselves? And it's recognize, take a step back, assess what it is, pivot, and then take your plan of action. It works for cooking and eating, and it works for just living, being happy, and relationships, and how you accept things in life that happen. Okay, so I guess what I'm getting at is you really can hack your life and hack your health and have harmony rather than cognitive dissonance. Okay, super, super, super great, important. Did you ever hear anybody, Tony Robbins, Dean, they all talk about, hey, we've got to get rid of some cognitive dissonance here. And basically what that is if you say something to yourself, like everybody can have, affirmations are great. Affirmations don't do anything if you don't really believe them or feel them, or feel the feeling of, what it is. If you say to yourself, I'm really going to eat well. I'm going to do that. This is going to be great. I'm never going to drink again. I'm never going to eat, butter again. 9 times out of 10, you don't believe that. That's a really bold statement. Start slow, start general. It's like, I'm really good at this. I've really learned a lot, and I'm really going to start doing better for myself. I'm going to start taking baby steps, okay? So when you say something like, oh, I'm never going to eat butter again, you don't believe that. That's cognitive dissonance. When you're saying something, here, cerebrally, because you want this to be so, but, the back of your mind says, yeah, right, okay, good luck. If it's not in sync, it's not going to happen, okay? Because your creative brain is going to take over. It knows. It's going to run on that program, and deep down. So many of us have had a situation in life where somebody said something that really devastated us, especially if we were a kid, And we didn't have the life skills to know what that really meant, and it could be something that had something to do with that other person. But, you took it on as though I'm not good enough. That's the biggest one. I'm not enough. Somehow I'm not enough, or I don't belong, or I'm not lovable. Okay. Those are the three biggies. That's all at the root of the onion in that negative sense, that cognitive dissonance. That's what your brain is telling you a lot of times from your program. You got to weed that out. And so when you ever had those little voices in your head that says, oh, I'm going to make, $1 million in the next 5 years or whatever. Maybe that's your goal, but if you don't believe it, you're never going to do it. First day, where is it? My little quote from Henry Ford: whether you think you can do something, whether you believe you can do something or you believe you can't, forgive me, I may be butchering it, but it's not exact. You're supposed to quote exact, but whether or not you believe you can do it, you're right. Because if you don't believe back here that you can do something and you're saying you can do that, it's not going to happen. You have to have symbiosis. You have to have those wavelengths, and that energy has to meet up, has to be in sync. The vibration of those have to be on the same plane for that to happen, for you to bring that into your world. Because your brain is what's directing you. You're never going to make $1 million if in the back of your mind you don't believe it, because that programming is not going to lead you towards whatever, or see the opportunities, or envision, have the creative vision of what it is that needs you to get to that place. Okay. So, this is all life hack today. I mean, I'm trying to throw the food thing in there. And I know there's plenty of you are like, give me the recipes. We'll do that. Okay. So it is Monday. I guess I'm going to have long-winded Monday. We've been going 46 minutes here, but this stuff is really important, get tired of hearing me talk, shut it off and come back tomorrow. I don't know. Listen to it 20 minutes at a time. I know it's really hard. We don't all have the amount of time. There's 2 guys that I love to listen to for my digital currency, and they run through, and they kind of do the same thing that I'm doing here. Is they run you through a lot of different information, and a lot of it's what's going on here, and look at that, and this one's in bed with this, and isn't that funny? They used to work with them, but it gives you confidence that what you're investing is the right thing. You're not just like throwing a dart at the wall and say, I'm gonna take my 401k and move it there. Because stock market kind of scary. So there must be something in this tea, because my nose is itchy. It's funny. I find all these little things now that I'm eating very little in the category wise thing. If there's something that is a trigger for me that I'm not supposed to have, I know it immediately. That's the power of narrowing those things down. So yeah, my nose is itchy. Must be something in that tea that I didn't read the ingredients properly. It's probably something on my bad list. So, and hopefully when I get through healing my biodome, I did the detox part, and I'm doing healing now, and I'm infiltrating all the good nutrition. These things that I am registering as danger, my inner person will be healed and working properly, and I'll be able to re-engage with some of the stuff that is on the no-no list right now. And if you've never done like a detox, wow, we'll get into that. So, all right, so we've gone through the substitution thing. All right. Okay, we talked about all this. Good. So the two ways that you can help yourself with the breathing exercise. Okay. When you come up with that little mantra thing, like mine is that I'm going to make a dent for people that want to be healthier, and I'm going to help them do that both physically and emotionally. That's my little thing. And I say that to myself, and that's my goal in life. You know, I think I mentioned this before, is two kinds of people: those that serve themselves and those that serve others. And I want to be in the latter. And that's my whole goal for this channel, is to help people do that. So I have my little mantra that I say when I wake up, and that's my little goal for the day, or my lifetime right now, trying to build up this channel and this business. And that's what I say to myself when I'm doing my breathing exercises. So when I'm breathing in, I'm like, I'm bringing in all of this information. I'm going to be able to disseminate it in a way that I don't confuse anybody, and that I can really help people. So anyway, when you can harness, I mean, you know, that repetition is reestablishing a new program for me. And that's the way I'm going to think. I'm not going to be wondering like, oh, you know, how am I going to make money here? Am I, you know, is everything going to be good? Are all my bills going to be paid? You know, I have faith that's going to happen because of what I'm doing and helping others. So that's my focus. My focus is on people like you. And the second way to change your program, the first was the repetition. Like I said, get a mantra, get something that you want to keep telling yourself, put it in the sticky notes, put it in your car, put it on the mirror, write it on your notebook. The other thing is more of the covert hack, and that was the little breathing exercise. Because when you're speaking that mantra and you're in a place where you're calm, your theta waves are going, you just woke up, you know, your brain is so much more susceptible to open up, take that information, and have it become your program. You are speaking directly into your subconscious. You are changing your program, okay? So the more that you can do that in that relaxed, calm breathing state, while also improving your oxygenation and your brain chemistry, and you're happier and you're healthier. I mean, I don't know what else I gotta say. You know, it's a no-brainer. Do it. You know, if you need help and trying to figure out the best way to do it for you, it's pretty simple. You know, or just get a hold of me. I'll help you come up with a mantra if you need to, or you know, it's just basically writing a paragraph and getting it down to a real short, brief synopsis of what your goal is. So when you can harness the right knowledge and apply it to your life in a way that you can create balance, harmony, equilibrium, you are wise. You are wise. This is such a good word. Okay, again, none of this information provided as medical advice. You know, if you're seeking to change your eating habits, check with your doctor. Get one that knows about nutrition first. If you don't have one of those, you know, go see a good naturopath. Do your homework. And so I'm Donna Meals, and we're going to do some cooking classes tomorrow. It's Monday, February 15th, episode 6. And substitution is the ultimate hack. So if you're out with your friends and family, tell the gang that our brain is really a computer, and we have to do our own research to find out carefully what we need to reprogram that with and get our new program to operate with. So love you all, and email me if you have any questions. Okay, take care.